I'm bestselling author Brian W. Smith, and you're watching Amplified Exposure Live with Teresa B. Let's get it.
Keep shining, let it shine, shine like a diamond. Keep shining, let it shine, shine like a diamond.
Good afternoon, Facebook. This is Teresa B coming to you live from Amplified Exposure Live. Today I have my guest. He is the dopest writer in the game. His name is Quan. He does great things with books. He's on a whole nother level. If you haven't even read his book, something's wrong with you. But he came on tonight, not only because he's just dope like that, but he came on tonight because he likes me. So for those of you who are out there in Roku land, TV land, Facebook land, wherever you're located right now, we want to welcome Mr. Quan to the show. Woo, woo, woo,
Thank
woo,
you.
woo.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
How you doing?
I'm good. I can't complain.
Is it cold up there?
Yeah, it actually snowed today.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, so winter is here.
Oh, I'm from Massachusetts, so I know.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Y'all get real winter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can remember Easter's with snow up to my neck.
That's
So
a fact.
So you are a writer, and you have been writing for several years. At least I've been writing for about 4, and I recall hearing about you a lot, like my first year when I came into the writing game. So tell us, how did it all start? When did you start writing, or when did you know that you were going to
Um,
be a writer?
I knew I was gonna be a writer when my third book came out. I actually was first published in 2002. So it's coming up on 18 years. I think Christmas Eve will make 18 years. Yeah, and it was by accident. I had no interest in publishing or writing. I was doing research trying to help my mom because that was her thing. Um, so when she could no longer do it, it was kind of like I picked up the torch. So I was writing this manuscript. I didn't know it was going to be a manuscript at the time. By the time I finished it, I really didn't have any idea what to do with it. So I was trying to go through a vanity press, and thank God I didn't have the startup money for a vanity press.
Mhm.
So what I would do was always have like thousands of books. So I pulled all my books off the shelf, and whoever had their contact information listed, I would hit them up, like whether it was a publisher or whatever. Like, and it wasn't a query letter per se because I didn't know how to write one. It was just me reaching out, trying to get some advice to figure out what to do next.
Right.
So I didn't get a lot of good responses. A bunch of the responses were actually quite nasty. Uh, and the thing that I kept hearing from the big publishers was there's no market for what I was writing. But I
Mhm.
knew differently because on the street, like with the vendors, they carry like the codes went to ever and be more careful and that kind of thing. So I had
Mhm.
just finished Be More Careful. And I went to the vendor and I was like, yo, give me something like this in the same genre. And he gave me Let That Be the Reason. So I read it and I was like, oh yeah, well, all of these books are kind of like we're all writing about the same demographic, different places. So Vicky Stringer happened to have her email on the back of the thing, and so I hit her up. And I know nothing about her being a publisher because technically there was really no Triple Crown back then. She was just another writer, and she had done it independently. So I had hit her up like, yo, how do you whatever, whatever. So we got the dialogue and back and forth, and she was like, yo, I can try to help shop you and get you a deal with one of these publishers. I think back then it was like Upstream, which was A and B, Black Print, those guys. So she was like, or I can sign you to this publishing house that I want to start, called Triple Crown. You would be the first author. And so me just thinking, like, if I go to a publishing house that has a lot of authors on the roster, I can get lost in the stable. If I go to a publishing house that doesn't have anybody, I'm the only talent, then the focus would be on me.